welcome back to the Gliding on Tools YouTube channel. As I said in my intro, I am doing a stage 2 cam upgrade. As you can tell, I've gotten some parts off the bike. I didn't feel like recording it because it's kind of easy, all right? Taking off the saddlebags, the side covers, your exhaust, whether it be 2-in-1 or duals. And of course, I took off the 2 spark plugs, all right? Your 2 spark, you know, MA's got 4. You only need to take off 2 spark plugs so that way you can turn the rear wheel easier, all right? You put it in 6th gear and turn it easier so that way once you get in that cam chest, I'm going to show you what the turning the wheel is for, okay? But that's what I'm getting ready to start. I'm going to show you what parts I'm going to put on it, and then let's get rocking and rolling. All right, as you can see, of course, I have a whole gasket kit right here from Cometic. All right, comes with all of the O-rings that you would need for your push rods, your gasket for the cam cover, comes with exhaust gaskets and your tappet cover gaskets as well. All right, I went with the S&S tappet cuffs. All right, a new cam bearing, the Fuel Moto adjustable push rods, Woods Performance cam, and of course I bought a Power Vision PV3 as well, just to tune it up for now until I put it on the dyno. All right, I also got lifters. Don't think about my lifters are soaking in oil, and then I left them there overnight. And of course, I'll pump them up again anyway before I put it in. I'll show you that method as we going along, all right? All right. What I want to show you right here is I went ahead, jumped the gun. I forgot to hit record on the camera. Well, I didn't forget. I wasn't going to record it, but let me go ahead and do it anyway. All right, I already went ahead. As you can see, I already cut the front push rods off up here, but I wanted to talk about, you know, top dead center and overlap. All right, another way for you to realize, you got 2 ways. If you want to leave the cam cover on while you cut your push rods, you stick it in you stick the bike in 6th gear, you rotate the wheel forward. When these 2 push rods, and what I say is they dance, when the rear 2 push rods simultaneously do a dancing motion, basically like this, all right, you're on overlap, you're good to cut the front. The same goes for cutting the rear. You put these 2, well, you got to put your fingers in here, touch your lifters, all right? And once they do that dance motion where they doing this number, all right, you're good to cut the rear. And you know you're good to cut the rear because you can spin your push rods, okay? You ain't got that hard tension in there. Another way you know how to do it is take the cam cover off before you cut any of the push rods, okay? You got timing marks here, all right? When your crank is at the timing mark is at the 12 o'clock position, and of course your cam is at the 12 o'clock position, then you know you can go ahead and cut the front push rods. Now when you want to cut the rear ones, you make sure you rotate that wheel and line up your timing marks down here, 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock, spin it just to make sure, and then if it spins, you're good to cut them. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and continue cutting, and I'll come back to you shortly. All right, so as you can see, I got all of the push rods cut out. I removed the tappet covers off of there, and then I already removed the tappet cuffs. So now I'm getting ready to remove all 4 lifters, and then removing the chain, tensioner, cam plate, and oil pump, so I can get in there and do what I got to do. But this is the step so far. I just want to let you know that when it comes time to your tappet cuffs, all right, they're a 3/8 socket, and you got to be nice and gentle with those, because if you break them off in there, then you know you're kind of screwed, right? So take your time with doing this change out and removing all your bolts and nuts that you have on here. All right, So let me go ahead and remove these, and I'll get back to you when I'm getting ready to remove the rest of this, and then putting everything back in. The old pump in there. All right, nice and lubed up with assembly lube, and the new cam is in there also. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the cam plate on there, tighten it down, and then of course rotating the wheel, the rear wheel, so I can make sure that the oil pump is aligned correctly and onto the cam plate as well. All right, so everything's jiving and doing fairly well. So it'll go on, rotate, torque, rotate, and then until I get to full torque, I'll keep rotating, so that way I'll make sure the oil pump is exactly in the position it needs to be in. All right, so far I've gotten everything back in. Oil pump is in, plate is in, new cam in. I already went ahead and buttoned all this back up. All right, just make sure that you have your timing marks aligned when you put this back on, and you tighten 34 foot-pounds up here, 24 foot-pounds up here for their final torques. All right, and then before you do all that, just make sure that your gears are lined up even and their tolerance is good. All right, with a straight edge. Button it all back up. The cam plate and the oil pump bolts go in at 120 foot, not foot-pounds, but 120 inch-pounds, and so does your cam chain tensioner here. All right, I've just dropped the new lifters in, and I have the S&S tappet cuffs, and I'm going to go ahead and get ready to screw that down and then put everything back in the way it's supposed to be with the tappet covers and whatnot. But when you're doing this portion right here with the tappet cuffs, what you want to do is when you're bolting these down, okay, you want to get a feeler gauge and just basically put your feeler gauge in between the lifter and the tappet cuff, so that way when you're screwing it down, you know that it's going to rise up and down without any hindrance. You're going to do that for both of them. Okay, let's get at it. I've already put my cam cover back on, put the push rods and push rod tubes back on, and then I didn't record it, I didn't film it, but I'll talk to you about it. So the same thing we do to cut the push rods off is the same thing you're going to do to put them back on. So if you put the rear cylinder on overlap, you put the front push rods in there, the adjustable ones, you get them down depending on the manufacturer. It's how many turns you have to do to put it down. I did 3.5 here for mine, and then you wait about 20 to 30 minutes so that way the lifters bleed down. Once that's down, you rotate the engine over and then put the front on overlap, so that way you could install the adjustable push rods for the rear. Like I said, put them down. What you're gonna make sure is doing when you screwing it down is that you don't want any of up and down play. You just want basically rotation play, but not up and down play. All right, and then you let these bleed down, and then that's where I went ahead and put my cam cover back on, finish installing push rod tubes. So 120 inch pounds for these, 140 for the tappet covers, and the tappet cuffs 100 inch pounds. All right, that part's done. I went ahead and installed my breather, my air element back on. Okay, and now it's time to go ahead and put the exhaust back on. Get this thing tuned, and let's see how she sounds. Put back on, except for saddlebags and side covers. I flashed it, flashed the tune with my power vision. Now, let's find out if she is either gonna sound good or blow up on me. have it. Stage 2 complete. I'll test ride it tomorrow. Hey, if you like this content, hey man, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I got some more coming up. I'm gonna do some test rides. I gotta do a dyno on this bike, and we're just gonna keep it ripping down the road. You know what I'm saying? So, and if y'all got comments or anything like that, go ahead and put them down below, and we shall see what these numbers are gonna look like here in the near future. Hey, thank y'all for watching, and that's all I got for today. So, like always, enjoy your ride.